What's up, everyone? Happy Thursday. How is everyone doing today? 12:30 it is. It's our time to go live with Dr. Tamika. Actually, I hope your day is going well. My day is going pretty well overall. Happy Thursday to all of you. I'm not certain how what you've been doing today. Have you done something that's uplifting? Have you encouraged someone else? But excuse me. I am fighting a cold, so I apologize if you hear a little cough and everything. But my immune system, supplements, and so forth are all on board. And I probably should do a whole series on what did I do for my immune system. And that's to say, I have like hasn't done much to me. So we'll see what it comes out to be as far as my testing and so forth. But with that being said, I am super excited to be with you today to discuss mental health and the gut connection. But let me know where you're chiming in from in the comments. Those of you who are here on Facebook, by all means, let me know where you're chiming in from. And what's your favorite drink of choice? Right now, I am drinking a combination of a spicy sweet tea and some peppermint tea all together. So I'm almost done with that, along with some water. So I'm double fisting right now. So what's your drink of choice? What's up, Natural Life Soap and Keisha Mama? So happy to have you here. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't forget to hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you want to know more about. If I can be of service to you, by all means, don't hesitate to reach out to me and schedule an unlimited health strategy call. It's so much fun. What's up, Alex D? How's it going? So on today, if those of you who are following me on Facebook, you'll see some things coming through. You'll also see StreamYard. If you see StreamYard there, if you could just go ahead and click on it, it will allow me to see your comments. So if you do that, it'll allow me to see your comments. That way I don't have to go in between two different screens. But on today, we are truly going to jump into something that I believe is if you have any interest whatsoever as it relates to health and health care, if you have any interest whatsoever in mental health, the time is now to really get into this because we are in a mental health, I believe, crisis, and we need as many good providers as possible. So if this interests you in any shape, form, or fashion, by all means, pursue it, because we need your help with this particular topic. So as we think about mental health, and as I say this topic up here, mental health, the gut and hormone connection, I think it's important that you understand that there's a growing awareness as it relates to mental health issues. And thankfully, there's more open conversations, let me say, about addressing psychological challenges. And I'm noticing within my practice and within friends and family members and colleagues and the impact in their families and so forth and extended throughout the community that we really need to address this, especially I'm seeing it across all ages. And I really want to put a special shout out to the youth. So if in fact you know someone who may be struggling in this particular area, there is LaVie Counseling Center that can help, but definitely tap into the resources. And maybe I just need to do a thing on my website or even here on Instagram and in Facebook, just giving you some resources to go to help with mental health. But as I say that, however, as we talk about mental health, many people still remain unaware of the new research on the connection between the gut health and mental health. The connection between your digestive system and your brain can have a profound influence on your mental health, thanks to the complex communication that exists between the two. So there's definitely communication that exists between our brain and our digestive system. So as we go through this and now we talk about it, there is something that we call the gut-brain axis, right? It may initially seem like a stretch for you to think about the gut health affects your mood, but I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. Let's just take a step back and look at some key terms. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is I'm going to break this into two parts. I'm going to break this into like, let's do some foundation, and then we're going to go to what can we do to actually help. So as we think about this, we need to break down some key terms. And as we think about the gut and brain and mental health and how it's impacting us, I want to break down some things so that you can understand how it works. So in our bodies, we have our bodies have organs, right? And within our organs, they don't exist in isolation, right? But they're connected through complex networks that enable them to communicate. So the neurons are essential to this process. They facilitate the communication between your brain and the rest of your body. Everything from muscle reflexes, digestions, thoughts, and emotions all have to come through this connection. So neurons are important. So when you think about neurons, they are essential to this process. As we think about neurons, the next thing I want to break down is neurotransmitters. Okay. I like to refer to these as the feel good hormones. People are so used to hearing about sex hormones, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, DHEA. But I want to talk about neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitters are the body's chemical messengers responsible for submitting messages from neuron to neuron. And when it comes to our mood regulation, there's an imbalance of certain neurotransmitters that can result in mood disorders. Many of you may be familiar with serotonin. Serotonin is a type of neurotransmitter. Dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter. These are our feel-good hormones. And serotonin is one of these powerful neurotransmitters that regulate your mood. And if there's a shortfall of serotonin, it can lead to depression, right? So yes, there's different things we can look into, trying to look and see, is our serotonin low, is our dopamine low? But there's what I like to do in my practice is I like to do different questionnaires as it relates to mental health, because your lack of desire to do something, your lack of interest, not eating, not sleeping, things don't excite you anymore, can give a telltale sign into your baby being challenged in the area as it relates to neurotransmitters. Okay. So dopamine, serotonin, just to give you some idea. And some people may even take, maybe familiar with tryptophan, but these are precursors to serotonin and dopamine, things like that. So think of this. We have our neurons, which are essential to the communication between the brain and other organs in our bodies. We have the neurotransmitters, which are our body's chemical messengers that's responsible for transmitting messages to neuron, and especially as it relates to mood regulation. The vagus nerve. Now, one of the things I want to point out here about the vagus nerve, your gut contains over 500 of these neurons, all sending messages from your brain to your nervous system. One of the largest connections within the nervous system is the vagus nerve. All right. It sends a two-way message, right, between your brain and your digestive system. And when I think about this, the vagus nerve is a part of the enteric nervous system. And I know I'm giving you a lot of terms right now, but I want you to understand why there is a brain, why there's a connection between brain and gut, and then your mood and so forth. What's up, Better Health and Fiona? As we think about the enteric nervous system, which controls basically bodily functions like digestion and breathing, right? When we think of this, the ENS system is part of the parasympathetic nervous system. You have two parts of your autonomic nervous system. You have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Many of you may be familiar with this, but as we speed things up, that's the sympathetic, it's your going fight or flight. And as we slow things down, that's the parasympathetic. That is the rest and digest. So parasympathetic, rest and digest, fight or flight is sympathetic. And when there's a disturbance in the balance between these two, it can lead to physical problems. It can be triggered by a psychological component like stress triggering IBS. Have any of you ever had a situation where when you get stressed, things start to happen in your body? Maybe you get things don't digest very well. Like maybe you get an upset stomach, or maybe like nothing tastes good, or maybe you have diarrhea, maybe you have constipation, maybe you get bloated. Like no matter what, some people, and many people that is, hold their stress within their digestive system. Actually, I had a patient just today who was struggling in this area. This person told me when they get under stress, they can't eat anything. It bothers their stomach. So I want you to understand that when you're under different types of stress, it can manifest within your digestive system. So if you're in a point where you're angry, or you're feeling like I can't hear anything else, or just everything seems to bother you, it can react in your body. So there's what's called a manifestation clinically in your body. So the vagus nerve, so that you understand this, the vagus nerves help. It's only one. It helps with the rest and digest side. It helps to slow things down to our fight or flight system. So to our parasympathetic side. And when we don't have the balance, when things are like the vagus nerve is things aren't working the way we'd want it to work, it can wreak havoc on our mental and physical health. Studies have shown that poor vagal tone can lead to difficulties in regulating your emotional responses. So when we think about our vagus nerve, there's some things you can do to help your parasympathetic system right now that relate to your vagus nerve. So if you want to help vagal tone, which can help you overall, it is number one, you can sing. that can help tone your vagus nerve. And even if you don't have the best voice, remember, you're trying to get into the best health you possibly can. Singing, gargling. Gargling would be really good. All right. Gargling can help tone the vagus nerve. Humming. So if you don't have the best voice, you can hum, you can sing, you can gargle. All that helps to work on toning the vagus nerve. As you work on toning the vagus nerve, that can help in the parasympathetic system, which helps us to be in the rest and digest system. All right. So the vagus nerve is very, very powerful. Now, some of you may be familiar with this. There is something called the microbiome. The microbiome connection. Your gut is also a microbiome of trillions of microbes, which are bacteria, fungi, viruses, all there. These microbes play an important role in your health, including your mental health. They're responsible for the production of happy neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, right? The microbiome also can help produce GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter that helps regulate anxiety. So we've talked about serotonin, we've talked about dopamine. Now let's talk about GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter that can really help regulate anxiety. And some studies have shown that the gut microbes, let me repeat that. The gut microbiome can also activate the vagus nerve. So when we think about our body and really trying to activate the areas that can really help us and benefit us, we really want to work on toning that vagus nerve, and helping tone that vagus nerve can also have an impact on our overall health. All right. Helping the parasympathetic system. So as I go a little bit further, not to make it too difficult, but let's just make it simple. We have something that's called your gut health and your mood, and there's a connection. As you can see from the messengers described above, we have the neurons, we have the neurotransmitters, we have our vagus nerve, we have the fight or flight system with the sympathetic, we have the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest. When we have it all come together, these messengers described can help your brain and your gut to have a constant bidirectional communication. Some goes up, some comes down. It's there for a reason. That can explain often, sometimes you may get these queasy feelings that accompany nervousness or even love or whatever's going on, but that can accompany that, right? But it's just as important for you to remember that the communication flows in both directions, from the gut to the brain, from the brain to the gut, right? So disturbances in your gut can affect your brain. And as a result, there's a profound correlation between your gut bacteria and your mental health. And the imbalances in the microbiome can reduce different neurotransmitters, in particular serotonin, dopamine, and so forth. When we look at this as a whole and we think about our bodies, we want to make sure that we're in balance. So on next week, we're going to talk about ways to optimize your gut health and improve mental health. So on today, I just want to recap. There are some key terms. Neurons, right? We talked about neurons. They're central to this whole process, right? They're part of, they facilitate communication between your brain and the rest of your body. Neurotransmitters, your feel-good hormones. The vagus nerve. The vagus nerve has a bidirectional communication that's going on. We want to tone the vagus nerve. Sing, hum, gargle. Gargle as long as you possibly can to help tone that vagus nerve, right? And then we have the microbiome connection. As we start to work on these things, we can start to do inches towards helping mental health. I know that we have an issue overall. There's a crisis as it relates to mental health, but I don't want to negate. There's some things that we can do for our body. So if we can start to just do the simple things and then get into therapy where we need it. And if we need the medication, we'll get it. But later next week, I'll go into ways to optimize your gut health and improve mental health as a total. As a total picture. So with that being said, on today, I think one of the things we can do besides focusing on vagal tone is really work on redirecting some thoughts. So if there's something that just a obtrusive thought that's going on, it's like, I want you to understand, our intrusive thought, that is, I want you to figure out what is something else that you can focus on. So can we change our focus? Can we change our position? Can we change our location? What can we do actively to do the things that can help us along the way? And I don't want to forget that therapy is important. It's important that you take your medication if necessary, and you do the things that are necessary to help you have the best health possible. Not that you have to, but oh my goodness, because that you get to. So on today, I hope that you've learned a few things to give you the background, but we will dive in a little bit deeper on things you can do on mental health, the gut and hormone connection. On today, I hope you share this video with someone. If I can be of service to you in the area of gut health, by all means, reach out to me. We can schedule a complimentary unlimited health strategy call, which you get on the phone with my staff and we'll determine how we can be of service to you. But don't sit back and not do anything for your health because you're like, I don't know what to do, or you don't know, maybe this is you. If you're on the fence, let's jump on the call and see. It has no cost to you other than a few moments of your time. So with that being said, thank you so much. Be encouraged, be uplifted. Until next week, stay healthy. I will continue to work on my immune system just like you are working on yours. Talk with you soon. Bye. So lovely to do these. So happy to have each one of you here. Be encouraged, be uplifted. Never remember this, you're not alone through this process. We all get to go through this together. We just want to encourage one another. See you later.